Everyone, it's Dana with Healthy, Happy, and Hot. So this is a video introduction of week one, which is a fact-finding and preparation week for Healthy, Happy, and Hot. And so this is take three because I did the 12 p.m. class. I did the 5 p.m. class for those of you that know and were there, and for those of you that were able to live stream. And I posted it, and moments later it disappeared. Actually, both of them did. I am sure it is user error. But I just thought I'd take this opportunity not only to practice, because I know this is a lot of material in 1 week and it needs to get condensed. And you guys were very helpful with your comments that you guys gave back to me. It was so helpful. I can't thank you guys enough for sending those back with me in class. But I thought I'd go ahead and do some videos because I know there was a lot of material. So some people that already went through the class may want to go back and revisit some things. And there might still be some people out there, I'm not absolutely certain, that didn't get to view the first class at all. And I want to make sure you're able to go over the material. So I'm redoing the videos. So this first one, I'm going to separate them out. It's just going to be the introduction portion of it, which was basically the first half of the class, kind of explaining to you a little bit about Healthy, Happy, and Hot and my background and my body transformation experience, and more importantly, the transformation that took place in the year and a half after I went through my body transformation competition. So I'm just going to go ahead and start that here. So if you want to hear the first half, the intro part, what Healthy, Happy, and Hot is all about, listen to this video. Otherwise, there'll be other videos posted that include some of the things in our week one packet, which is available in the Facebook group. I posted it there a couple of days ago if you don't have that yet. And that'll break down heart rate and some of the different things that we went through and give you a little bit more information on those. So for the introduction to Healthy, Happy, and Hot, I talked a little bit about there being three types of people when it comes to exercise, to three different categories, I should say. One is people who really love exercise and they really, it just kind of comes naturally to them to want to do it. They get enjoyment out of it, they get fulfillment out of it, and they do it. It's just that simple. The second people are people who maybe have come to like exercise, or maybe they had it in their lives at one time and they got out of it, but they're coming back into it. And then the third category is people that I categorize as people who just dislike exercise. They don't like the thought of it. They don't enjoy it when they do it. I had one gal that mentioned in the class that she used the strong word of hate, but that happens. So anyway, I just bring up all three categories because I think it's important for you to be honest with yourself about what category you currently fall in. And the questionnaires that I had sent out for you guys to fill out will probably, if you didn't already know, help you decide which category you're in and possibly which category you would like to end up being in. So if you're in that category 3, I think there's a chance we can get you to at least the category 2, if not the category 1. So anyway, I am a category 1. I am someone who's just kind of always had it in my life. I enjoy the outdoors. I enjoy physical things. But I'll tell you my story here in a little bit. But I've had such a complete transformation of what that all means to me and how I fit my health and fitness into my life. And that's what this program is all about. So also, whichever category you fall into, Healthy, Happy, and Hot is built to accommodate every single category of person. So if you're here and you want to start exercising, whether you love it, like it, think you can learn to like it, or you don't like it, you're in the right place. So Healthy, Happy, and Hot, the name of it, I called it that because I thought that for me, those were the three components that were really necessary in my fitness program. First of all, it needed to help me be more healthy. And that's an obvious answer for most people. If you say, why are you working out? Well, I want to be healthy. We want to be healthy because we want to feel good. And we also want to be healthy so we live long, happy lives. So we feel good during that process. So we're here for the people that we love. But the one side note I had on that was that there are plenty of people out there who are fit and they're not necessarily healthy. And that can come in different variations. For instance, I have a friend who ran marathons and his, sorry, my phone's going off. He ended up getting bad knees because he was carrying a little bit excess weight. And he's pounding 26 miles on pavement, running these marathons. And over time, that took its toll on his knees. So even though he's fit, he trained for a marathon, he could go out and run one. It wasn't necessarily the healthiest way for him to be trying to lose weight or to exercise. And on the other end of the spectrum, sometimes there's people who do a ton of fitness, but maybe they're not healthy because they're overdoing it. So that's the healthy component of it. The happiness component of it is a really big deal because it's why a lot of people don't keep up a fitness program, because if you're doing something that actually contributes to you feeling really good and feeling happy, you're more likely to do it. So, and to keep it up. So one of the things that I noticed is when someone decides to put in effort to get something that they really want, they have an expectation of what that is, of what's going to come out of that effort. And in the case of exercise, a lot of times that expectation doesn't match the result that they get. And so it's discouraging and they end up giving up, or they end up, they quit because it's those two things, the effort and the expectation, are not matching. So this program is designed to really, to bring that component into it, to talk about expectations and what you should really get out of it, and make sure that your expectation is matching what you're putting into it. And then the last factor, hotness, I brought that into it because the truth of the matter is we know that every single one of us, that is a portion, at least, if not a large portion, of why we exercise. Because we want to look in the mirror and we want to feel good. And we want to walk outside and we want to feel good. And we want to present ourselves in a way and have our external body really match the effort and the work that we're putting into our exercise. So that's the hotness component. My history, I'm trying to be more brief than I was in class. I did high school athletics. I was a basketball player, cross country, and track. I always loved running. Running is not a big part of what I do anymore. I did get into running marathons, and then eventually in the early 2000s, I ran a couple of ultra marathons, which is anything over 50 miles in distance. I love adventure racing. It was my favorite sport. I did that. It's a team sport for years where we got to do everything from rappelling and kayaking and mountain biking and all these outdoor crazy things, which I loved so much. It involved a lot of map skills. I've done RAGBRAI for 20 years, and I've been a YMCA aerobics instructor, and I taught at Goals in Motion, and I was a kickbox instructor there for a period of time and a kickbox instructor at Farrell's. And I only tell you that because I want you guys to know I am not a fitness professional in the sense that I'm not a personal trainer. I have taught classes before over the years, but everything that I'm bringing to you through this program is really just what I've learned from my own experience. And I've had so many requests from my experience to share what I learned. And so that's why I put together this program and I'm bringing it to you. So after all of that crazy fitness I did for a really long time, at the age of 33, which I'm 44 now, I wasn't even hardly able to get out of a chair on my own because I had done so many endurance and crazy exercising things that I had started to physically break down. I just started to physically break down. So there was a big hiatus in between there where I really wasn't doing a whole lot. And I love fitness, but it just took its toll on me, and I started to feel depressed, and my body started to change as I started to get older, and I wasn't, I knew to exercise like to be training for something. And so whenever I would finally exercise, it wasn't consistent at all. And then I'd go hard because that's just what I was used to. So I was really messed up in putting it all together. I didn't really correlate diet with nutrition because I had exercised so hard for so many years that my mentality was always like, well, I'll just kind of eat whatever I want because I'm exercising all the time. So I didn't understand why my body continued to not reflect what I was putting in as far as exercise was concerned. It was really confusing for me. And so in February of 2016, I'd kind of hit my limit because not only was I physically, in my opinion, things were going downhill, but mentally it was too. And I was starting to feel depressed and unmotivated, and I just didn't know what to do. So in February of 2016, I joined Lifetime Fitness, which is a wonderful facility. I'm no longer a member there, but it is a wonderful facility with wonderful people. And I just needed something I felt like to spark me and get me going again, which is what a lot of you put in your questionnaires as part of your motivation to start this program. And so I did a 90-day transformation program when I first joined that gym. And during that process, I basically used it as motivation just to be at the gym and to be in the challenge, to actually work out more. So started working out more. I didn't change my diet. I was still inconsistent. And at the end of the 90 days, I really didn't have any different results. And so I'm going to show you some pictures here. This was February of 2016. That's the picture right there. So that's that point. At the end of that 90 days, I didn't take an after photo because I was just disappointed and I was still kind of feeling the same. So it was then, after that, in April of 2016, that I joined Kelly's Win the Food Fight. So I am an alumni myself. And I joined Kelly's program because I realized diet and nutrition was probably a big factor to why I was feeling so miserable and why my body, as I described it, was on the downward trend. And so I joined her program. And during that time, I also started working out with a trainer because at Lifetime, because I had discovered that every time I really started to up my exercise, my hip would start to bother me again. So I met with a trainer to kind of assess the situation and see what was going on, and found that I'd probably sustained a pretty bad injury in my hamstring a long time ago, and never had it looked at, never did anything about it. And now I was seeing problems from it as I was getting older in age. So I started working out with him once a week to rehabilitate my hip. And that was a really amazing experience. So then my after photo from that experience, from doing Kelly's Food Fight and from working out with a trainer one time a week, which prior to that, I'd never done strength training. Okay. So this middle photo right here, and if you really look at my midsection, you can see how I'd started to come over my shorts here, and I'm losing that here. And you can kind of see it in my legs too. I'm sorry, I know it's not that visible on the video. But I realized, oh my gosh, first of all, when you add food into it, it changes things. So food intake and your diet and nutrition and nutrients are key to a healthy life and to changing your body, as you guys all know as Win the Food Fight alumni. But the thing I also noticed was, wow, this strength training, I started to get strength back in my leg and rehabilitate my hip, and it was just an amazing experience. So it got me really excited and kind of made me excited to do something more. So the next thing I did was I joined in June of 2016, which is when that second photo was taken. I decided to join the Lifetime 60-day Body Transformation Challenge. Now, to be clear, this was not a weight loss challenge. It was about gaining muscle mass, lean muscle mass, and losing body fat in a fairly short period of time, 60 days. So in the process of that, I started working out with my trainer, doing strength training workouts 3 times a week, which was a complete differentiation from anything I'd ever done. And the crazy thing was, I only worked out cardio, which is what I was used to doing, 3 times a week. And it was for short periods of time in very specific heart rate zones. And the thing was, from that experience, I could not believe, I felt like I wasn't working out very hard. My strength training over time got harder and harder because I was pushing it to win this competition. But from a cardio standpoint, it actually felt like it was so much less than what I had done in the past. I mean, I'd be at the gym for a maximum of an hour, 3 days a week doing cardio, sometimes 45 minutes. And it was changing my body. So I want to be fully honest and tell you guys that I did some pretty extreme nutritional things towards the end to specifically attempt to win the competition, particularly in the last 2 weeks of the competition. And I'm not encouraging it. So the final results that you're going to see in this picture, I am a year and a half after that competition ended. I am smack dab between the middle of the last 2 pictures, which for me and where I am now is exactly where I need to be. But just so you guys can see the power of when you put together exercise, smart exercise, really specific targeted exercise, that with diet, how it can change things. So this is my final picture, the front view. I'll show you guys some different views too. I wasn't trying to lose weight, but I dropped over 20 pounds from this picture. So this was February of 2016. This was August of 2016. I also dropped, it was 19% body fat in that period of time. So that was the biggest change. I wasn't really watching my weight. In fact, at the end of the competition, we were trying to get me to gain a little bit weight. But I gained so much lean muscle mass and lost fat. It was a real body transformation. Here's the other pictures. Here's my side view difference. So February of 2016, I think I said this was in April before, but this is June of 2016. That's right before I started the 60-day challenge. And this is August of 2016. And then here's my back view, which I think is one of the biggest transformations, especially if you look at around my waistband. That's the same outfit for the entire thing. My shorts had got so big in that last picture that I had to pull them down to make them stay on. So there's a big difference there. So I want to be clear too, guys. Once again, I'm not promoting in Healthy, Happy, and Hot that we get to this point. But as you can, what I want you guys to see is that in combination with your food and your diet, and then adding strength training, which is so key, and then doing smart cardio rather than hard and long and obsessive cardio like what I did, you will get results. So that's what Healthy, Happy, and Hot is all about. And so the real transformation for me, I know I did a body transformation over like a 6-month period of time, and in particular that last 2 months. But really the transformation has come for me in the last year and a half, because I had to be really honest with myself after that competition, which I didn't even mention. I became Lifetime's a top 5 national finalist in that competition. I didn't win overall, but I had astounding results. And so there was a transformation for me after the fact, because that was such a concentrated effort and I gave it my everything. I didn't have a stitch of alcohol, not a drop of wine during that process. My diet was, there was no cheating at all that took place. I was very, very, very devoted and committed. And I have to say that during that process, I had to let other things in my life go. I'm a single mom. I run 2 businesses, and I'd like to think I was still a really great mom during that time. And I know my kid would say I was, but it does really, that kind of commitment is not really feasible for most people in our everyday life. I wanted to see what I can do in 60 days. I needed something to kick my butt. And I'm so glad I did it, but I didn't want to keep up exactly because I didn't want to make the commitment to what it took to stay there. But I took all the juicy parts of it. And in the last year and a half since that competition ended, I've basically been designing, like, what does it look like now? How do I take in combination with Kelly's Win the Food Fight program, which was the foundation for everything I did there. I did some tweaking off of it, but it was the foundation. And as soon as I got down with the challenge and I had to get back to normal life, I immediately went back to Kelly's program, because I was like, this is my chance to like go back and get myself back into normal everyday life. And I also took everything I learned from that challenge from a physical standpoint, and I've kept up. So I fall now between, I was at 6% body fat here at the end, which I think I show you guys in the thing is not even the essential fat amount that a woman needs to sustain her regularity, basically, and her bodily functions. So I wasn't there for a very long period of time. I did it specifically to try to win the competition. However, I fall between here now, just about halfway, which is exactly where I want to be. I feel super healthy, and I'm utilizing all the things I learned. And also, so for people, if you go off and you train for something crazy, so you have to do a specific kind of thing, to me, this program I'm building now in combination with Kelly's program is what you can come back to after you do some, like say you go off and train for a triathlon, okay? It's also something for beginners who really don't have a sense of what I do. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it smart. You might as well take that time and make your exercise and your fitness really efficient, so you're getting the most out of it that you possibly can. And really what I want from you guys here, and what I wanted for myself, is for my body to reflect what I was putting into, the exercise and fitness that I was putting in. And then so what I found is if I exercise smart, I didn't have to do as much of it, and my body would reflect it. So that's the intro, guys. That's the program in a nutshell. Almost 20 minutes long. So please, in the comments below, leave me any questions you have about my story, any specific questions you have about the program. I'll do some separate videos about heart rate and some of the other things we talked about, especially the perceived exertion. We talk about perceived exertion along with the heart rates, and I didn't get an opportunity to go into that as much, particularly during the 12 o'clock class. So if you want some more info on that, watch the perceived exertion video. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much. See you in week 2 for cardio, fitness, fat burn. Bye-bye.